What's up, guys? We're at the Halifax Regionals here. Who are you and what did you do?
My name's Max. I came 5th place playing Fiendsmith Snake Eye. Snake Eye is the best deck.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Shocker.
Any shout outs before you begin?
Yeah. Shout out to Pat, I guess, Team Solo Circus. Shout out all my guys who came down to Texas with me to play at the NAWCQ. So Thomas, Josh, Brad, Nick, Jacob, and Ethan. Shout out all those guys who did a bunch of testing with the deck. I played a bit of a different list than I did at the event. But yeah, I guess.
Alright, let's get right into it.
Sure. So it's Snake Eye. No real surprise as far as the engine. Play 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. It's all very straightforward. Snake Eyes. Consistency cards. One of those that you have to play. I don't love this card, but I'm playing over 40, playing 45. This list took a lot of inspiration from Jose Santiago's list. He came 2nd place at the NAWCQ playoffs.
Yep.
I believe it was called. Yeah. Yep. I just mixed up the non-engine of my extra deck a little bit, but like 45 cards, everything's pretty much the same. The money cards, woohoo! These cards are absolutely insane. This is like just the best deck to use them, I guess. That is it for my engine. It's 25 cards, I believe, should be. It's 24 with that 1 for 1, 25 total. So there's just 20 non-engine. It's a shit ton. 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 Baylor, 3 Ogre, 2 Bestials, 3 Talents, and 3 Imper. So there's a lot of math that goes behind this because there's like 5 quote-unquote bricks in the deck, cards that you don't really want to draw. I count Lurie, Temple, because Temple doesn't do anything on its own. These 2 big guys, and Oak, because Oak also doesn't do anything on its own. So those are 5 cards that you don't want to see. In 45, you still have like a 30% chance of opening one of them, but when you're playing 20 engine, 20 non-engine, you have an equal 85% chance to draw open at least 2 of each, right? So you're optimally going for, if you are going to draw one of your shit cards, then you at least have 2 non-engine, 2 engine, or if you don't open one of them, then you're going to have 3 non-engine, 2 engine, and that's basically the ratios that I'm trying to shoot for. As far as my hand trap lineup, pretty similar to Santiago's list. It's just this, I believe he had Drolls in here, and he is playing 2 Mourner and 1 Ogre. I just maxed out on Ogre because I expected a lot of Tenpai for our local area, as well as it's just a really good like 6 card going second. Has good application, just hitting Appaloosas, hitting IP Masqueranas. Yeah, I was a big fan of this card today. It didn't come up too much, but when it did, it was actually really good. Talents, I'm playing this instead of Droll, instead of Crossout, because with it being such a hand trap heavy format, I feel like your deck being able to push through hand traps just naturally with the engine, you should use that to your advantage. So instead of using Crossout to stop the hand trap, you instead should take the hand trap, rip a card out of the hand, and then keep playing. It just is way more valuable. Plus with the deck, we are playing like this much non-engine. There are times where you'll draw, you know, Talents, 3 hand traps and 1 starter. If that starter gets Ashed or Baylor, then you can at least try and draw into more. You can argue Crossout would be better. I'm still siding it because I was still afraid of getting nibbed at a shit point, but yeah, that's the main deck. Nothing too crazy there. My extra deck's a little wonky. I was trying out some stuff. So for the Snake Eye part of it, I guess, I played these cards. I'm playing Raging Phoenix Zealandis. I've seen a lot of lists start to like move back to this. I think it's a better alternative to Phoenix. It gives you a little bit of a worse matchup into obviously like annoying back row floodgates and that kind of stuff because you have Phoenix to basically be able to out those. But these cards just add like a better layer to your end board, I find, because whenever you're ending on Phoenix, right, you're just using it as a bridge out of Promethean. But when you are doing that, you have the material to make a Link 4. So instead of ending on Apo with Phoenix that makes it unable to be destroyed by battle, I'm instead trying to end with this, which Snake Eye's been doing in the past. It's just it's been cut since the Fiendsmith cards take up so much extra deck space. This way, instead of making it unable to be destroyed by battle, I instead have up to 2 props in the battle phase instead. Plus, I have this coming back in the graveyard. Plus, it's an OTK line that, as far as I've been using it, it is one of the most consistently good FTK lines that I've ever played in any deck that isn't, just trying to FTK, right? Like, every time I've resolved it, it feels so good. You get your Promethean back in rotation, you get a huge fucking body, right? This guy can get up to 5,800, so he can be bigger than Access Code anyway. It's like, I think it's worth cutting the Phoenix for these. Yeah, there's another card I cut that I'll show. These are the Fiendsmith cards. I just played these Links, these Fusions, and the Beatrice. I didn't play Necroquip. I felt that card doesn't come up that much, especially when you are playing the full Fiendsmith package. It makes it so your one card Poplar starter, not playing the Necroquip, is a little worse because you can't like Poplar for Temple and then do Fiendsmith stuff from there because you just won't have an extra body. It also makes it so if your like Witch Ash lines get interrupted, like 2 bodies doesn't go into Fiendsmith. It sounds bad, but it really does not come up as much as you think, especially when you're trying to make Beatrice anyways, right? Because if you're ever going for a Beatrice line, you're gonna have the bodies regardless. Plus, I didn't like the Necroquip lines because it requires you to use your Fiendsmith to summon back early. So therefore, if you're ever going into sequence, you're making sequence into a Lacrima and you don't have a target engrave unless you're starting with Engraver in the hand. And if you are starting with Engraver in the hand, then Necroquip is just completely unnecessary. So that was my reason for cutting it. I think Necroquip is a good card and it is a very good bridge. It's just this extra deck is so tight that something had to go. So that was my 15 there. Side deck, 3 of this card. This card's crazy. It's very good against the Mirror. It's good against Tenpai. I decided to setting as Ritual Beast. I don't think I drew it, but in theory it seems like it should be good against that deck too. Yeah, it's just, you know, max seed. 3 crossout. I talked about how I cut this from the main at least. I think this was my first time playing Snake Eye without this card in the main. I didn't miss it too much because with obviously the Fiendsmith package, you can push through hand traps a lot better and even push through boards a lot better. I wanted to play Talents over this in the main just because going second, this is like a do-nothing card. It can trade with hand traps sometimes, but most of the time it's not like worth. It's just not impactful enough, right? Like you're still gonna get cooked by the board. So I'd rather have Talents to be able to take something and make a bigger push with that. Then I just played a bunch of back row hate. Me and all the guys got fucking steamrolled by Runic Stun at the NAWCQ. It was not fun. So I'm currently kind of afraid of that deck as long as, you know, Fountain's around with all the floodgates. So these cards are just kind of insulation for that. I also like these against, you know, random rogue matchups like the Centurions, the Ritual Beasts. I guess they're not rogue, but like, you know what I mean. Just the non-Snake Eye mirrors. It's also good if you want to out like skill drains and stuff. Probably not going to see it that much in, what's it called? However many cards I'm playing, 45, but it's worth it to have it there. 3 of this card, we don't need to talk about this card. Just ban this card, please. And the last card was Access Code. I did still play this because I had 1 extra spot. It probably could have went to something else like a Dust or a Called By or whatever, but I decided to play this just in case there are any decks that just have a bunch of cards that I need to out. Access Code is still a very good card. Just because I'm not playing it doesn't mean it's not very good, so I figured it deserves to have a spot somewhere in the list, so I decided. And that's the list.
Congrats on making 5th place.
Thanks. I love you.
And we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks.